The park fell silent except for the distant squeak of a swing. A police cruiser idled by the curb, lights flashing red and blue across the playground. In the center of it all stood Marcus Reed, hands cuffed behind his back, his 6-year-old daughter, Amara crying in a pink dress beside him. To the officers, he looked like a suspect. To Amara, he was just daddy. What happened next would shake the whole neighborhood. 3 hours earlier, Saturday mornings were sacred for Marcus. No meetings, no deadlines, just the park, the swings, and his daughter's laughter. "Hiya, Daddy!" Amara giggled as he pushed her. The sunlight caught her curls, and Marcus smiled, that deep, proud smile of a man who had fought too hard to give his child peace. At 38, Marcus Reed carried himself with quiet strength. A former middle school science teacher, now stepping into his new role as principal at Lakeside Elementary, he believed in patience, community, and leading by example. Life hadn't been easy. His wife had passed away 3 years earlier. Raising Amara alone had tested every part of him, but it also gave him purpose. After an hour at the park, they started the short walk home. Amara skipped ahead, chasing a butterfly, while Marcus carried her backpack and an extra bottle of apple juice. That's when he noticed the woman across the street, phone in hand, watching too long. At first, he ignored it. Then he heard her voice. "Excuse me, miss, are you okay? Is that man bothering you?" Marcus turned. "She's fine, ma'am. She's my daughter." But the woman didn't listen. Her voice tightened. "Stay where you are! I'm calling the police!" Marcus felt his stomach drop. He'd seen that look before, fear dressed as righteousness. "Ma'am," he said, calm but firm, "I'm her father. You can ask her yourself." But Amara, frightened by the shouting, clung to his leg and began to cry. The woman's voice cracked through the phone. Yes, I see him right now. A black man? Yes, he's holding the little girl's hand." 10 minutes later, sirens wailed down Maple Street. Neighbors peeked through blinds. A jogger stopped mid-stride. The patrol car screeched to a halt beside them. "Hands where we can see them." Marcus raised his hands slowly, every movement deliberate. "Officers," he said, "there's been a misunderstanding." They didn't listen. One officer grabbed his wrist. Another pulled Amara away. "Daddy!" she screamed. The word pierced through the chaos, but the officers kept moving, cuffing him, reciting rights he hadn't broken. He didn't resist. He didn't shout. He just looked at his daughter and said softly, "It's okay, baby. I'm right here." A crowd had gathered. Phones were out. The woman who called stood off to the side, arms crossed, satisfied that she'd saved a child. Marcus sat in the back of the patrol car, heart pounding but face steady. He had worked too hard to lose his peace now. At the station, everything slowed. His ID was checked, his story verified. The more they searched, the worse it looked for them. Matching birth certificate, same last name, same address. 3 hours later, the truth was undeniable. He was who he said he was, Amara Reed's father. The officer's tones changed. Apologies poured out, but Marcus said little. His silence said more than anger ever could. Finally, they drove him home. Amara was waiting outside with a neighbor, tears dried on her cheeks. She ran into his arms the moment he stepped out. He lifted her up, kissed her forehead, and whispered, "See? I told you Daddy was okay." The watching neighbors felt something shift. Shame, realization, discomfort. They couldn't name it, but it was there. If you're enjoying this story so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications, because what happens next will shock everyone. 2 days later, Sunday afternoon, the same street, the same curious neighbors, but this time, the energy was different. A long row of cars lined the block. City officials stepped out in suits. Teachers from nearby schools gathered near the park entrance. News cameras rolled. The woman who had made the call stood frozen on her porch as Marcus, now dressed in a charcoal suit, stepped out of a city vehicle holding Amara's hand. A banner hung across the park fence. "Welcome to Lakeside Elementary's new principal, Mr. Marcus Reed." Whispers spread like wildfire. "That's him? The man they—" "Yes, that's him." Marcus took the microphone at the podium, smiling gently at the crowd. 3 days ago, he began, I stood on this same street with my daughter. We were walking home from this very park. Some of you were here that day." The crowd fell silent. The woman on the porch swallowed hard. I was accused of something I didn't do. But this story isn't about blame, it's about assumption, about how quickly we can mistake love for danger when it doesn't look like what we're used to. He paused, letting the words breathe. I moved to this neighborhood because I believe in community, because I want my daughter to grow up where people see character before color, and because, as your new principal, that's the kind of lesson I plan to teach our children. The applause started softly, then swelled. People who'd filmed his humiliation now filmed his grace. Amara waved shyly beside him. The woman who had called the police lowered her head, tears in her eyes. After the ceremony, she approached hesitantly. Mr. Reed,